Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha. Okay, brand new band, first time listen. Draconian, Sorrow of Sophia. Once again, the experience of me just clicking and highlighting, you guys put suggestions, I drop it in, I go, okay, this is cool, let me put this here, has been what this channel's been all about. So I want to thank you guys for that. Also, I want to thank you guys for hanging in there. I know a lot of you guys have been dropping stuff in there for weeks. You know, I've only been doing this a few months, so maybe even months, but I'm one guy and I do this and I'm still having a great time doing it. And it's when I don't and it starts to become a little bit of a hassle that I just go later. Anyhow, that all being said, thank you though for hanging in there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for those who have bought me a cup of coffee. It really goes miles because my channel is not monetized. And so if ads do run, it's not me, it's the publishing company. You guys know the spiel already. Anyhow, let's do this. Draconian, Sorrow of Sophia. All right.
Sophia is forgiven, the mother of our prison. Sophia is glistening, always weeping for the world. She's apprehension. And her eyes torn by guilt. And we have these souls, and through her we are ascension. The grandeur of stillness and all of a sadness.
As life cries out in torment, you are the everlasting sun. From the spark of countless eons, you are weeping for the world.
And we sleep with the tides when we were lulled into matter, holding the burden of time. And we awake in the midst of a world about to shatter, shedding the burden of time.
All right. Total surprise for me, just because Draconian. I'm thinking right off the bat, I'm going to get hit over the head with some incredible power. But I am so. This took me a little longer to stop. If you notice, usually I'll stop about a minute and a half, 2 minutes into a track to do my first breakdown, but the whole thing kind of sucked me into this kind of ethereal journey at the very beginning. Now, I don't know if it's part of the video that it sounded like wind or surf or something. The white noise, the moving white noise, it kind of gave me a nature kind of vibe. So I just kind of settled into it. And then when the guitar playing starts happening, I had to stop and think, and because nowadays guitars 7, 8, 9 strings, D tunings, unique tunings, it definitely sounded like it was a lower tuning than a regular guitar that was being played there, and it really held these really warm tones. There was nothing bright in the sound, like up there at 8, 9, 10K, which is on the scale of tones. Excuse me. That was indicative of your, I don't want to say typical, but clean, excuse me, clean electric guitar sound. And I really liked that. It set this tone of like, all right, this is not what I expected, first of all, so I had to get myself off that ladder, and then I kind of glided into it, and then her voice came in, and so I didn't know where I was going, so I really settled into it, and as I started to sink into it is where I lost a little bit of what I was doing and became a listener. Every once in a while that actually happens, where I stop decomposing and I'm just kind of in for the journey. Then obviously the power comes in, guitars and the drum. I want to mention something about the drums. When you have a track that has established a really large ethereal ambient vibe, what does that mean? A lot of it has to do with post effects, reverbs, or digital delays. Obviously in her voice, a very long sounding, hall sounding, a kind of reverb. That's the echo. Most people might refer to that if you're not in the music business, and if you're just listening, that long kind of, even though an echo is hello, 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 some people kind of reverb echo. And in post-production, you have many different kinds of reverbs you can use, long halls and cathedrals, and then synthesized, kind of long reverbs and stuff. That sets this tone for a very ambient track. I was mentioning earlier about the drums. What I love about the engineering about the drums, once again, and also coming from an engineering standpoint of view, is the perfect way the kick is EQ'd and tucked, and it's dry. Okay, and when you listen to the rest of this, I want you to kind of key into the drum a little bit and listen to the kick drum and how that it's got a definite thud, but it's dry. There's no reverb on it. Otherwise, it would muddy up those tones. So I was immediately drawn into that. Then there's some, because I know nothing about the band, how many is in it, or instruments. It seems like there's some kind of pad work happening in certain areas. It might be a keyboard just holding down a couple notes that have these long ethereal tails to it. Or it could also be guitars that actually have, some compression, some sustain, additives in post, and they swell up a single note and let it ring, and there's some really cool things you can do with a guitar when you let notes just hang out there. I couldn't quite decipher it. So anyhow, that's why it took me so long, is I actually was kind of sinking into this going, oh man, this is really, really trippy, and I kind of forgot about that. And then the growling comes in, the power comes in, and the growling comes in, and I'm always in such awe of that talent. Just because I don't know how it works, but I've heard about, now I'm learning false folds or false vocal cords or something, and also listening to singers who do growl and then have intense, beautiful, killer voices. In this case, I believe it's a male that's growling, and then I don't know if the lady that's, or the female performers, if she's the lead of the band or something, because I don't know. But nonetheless, I love her voice, and the sailing notes that she has is adding to the ambience of this production thus far. And even when the power comes in and the growling comes in, the ambience is still in play. That's why the one thing I really vacillated to in the sound of it when I'm listening to it is the Decomposer, is the kick drum and how well that's placed and how well that's staying in its lane to be the leader of what's driving you right through here, along with the bass playing. All right, so I'm gonna go back a little bit and let's hang on for the ride. Here we go.
Goddess concealed in shadow, seducing the stars and the flaming Gaia.
What a wonderful passage. Definitely not, expecting that, which is great. Maybe I've done this too long, where I think I expect to hear certain things, but I get blown away quite often lately, since you guys are giving me suggestions of bands I've never heard in music that I'm listening to for the first time. I love that passage on a personal level, not because it was just so well written, the strings or the hybrid strings. I don't, it's so hard to tell nowadays if they're live or not. It doesn't matter. It's a string arrangement. What I loved about it is it just took its time, these haunting kind of notes. It had a little bit of hope in it, in the arrangement, but it started off with a light arrangement, and then a counter arrangement shows up, and then when the vocal comes in, a third counter arrangement comes up into the strings, and it was just perfectly gliding through this section. And then when her voice comes in as an addition to it, keeping the same kind of melodic performance as the string with long notes, and not performing a lot. There's not a lot of quarter notes or eighth notes or anything going on in there, but these nice long notes to accompany what the arranger composer of the strings, if in most cases probably one of the band members, which puts a little bit towards what I thought I heard earlier could have been. So maybe it was a string arrangement or something that I had mentioned about earlier. Loved the journey of this. So I don't know, because I don't know this band, I don't know where in the discography of this project this song fits, because usually it's a journey from song one to the last song, and then even a hidden track or something. But this feels to me like an apex performance for the band, possibly. It's just a feeling. I'm just throwing darts here, but I'm attached to this from here to here because I'm a string arranger and a composer and an orchestrator and stuff. And so when I hear strings, I have tendency to go, oh, everything is invisible. I zoomed right into the strings, and it was an excellent arrangement for that passage. And then now it looks like we're going back in and probably bringing home the opening guitar phrasing that's going on. So let's go back a little bit. Jeez, I gotta get this thing checked out. Here we go.
Sophia's forgiven. The mother of a prisoner. She's stuck in deathly waves. That was spring in the field, into trees and stone. The sorrow and the guilt, it broke through the spheres and fed the demons inside.
And we sleep with the tides when we were lulled into matter, holding the burden of time. And we wake in the midst of a world about to shatter, shedding the burden of
One of the things I love about what they just did with this ending is what I call an arrangement reveal. Now, in the mix, these two instruments that we're hearing in the mix all together made the hook. There's drums, there's bass, there's another guitar in there, and But what I loved about how they pulled out just to these two tracks goes to show you that when we listen to a piece of music, we sometimes are a little not too sure about, wait, stand by. Someone's coming in to drop a dislike. Wait a minute, here it comes. Oh! Stupid. I just took the zen out of what I was saying, didn't I? Anyhow, is that a lot of times we don't hear the nuances of the layers that make up what we hear as the glorified pure listener. And to that point, really, that's okay too. You know, why demystify anything? That's where I kind of walk my balance on how I go about what I say. I don't want to push the demystification of why something might be what it is, because I don't also want to distract necessarily from the song as a whole. But when they pulled out, and then you hear that the guitar is doing this super cool pattern, you know, kind of washed in a little bit of reverb, and then you have this other one, which it sounded, I guess maybe it was some kind of a keyboard pass or something that was there. I don't know if it was guitar, but it sounded more keyboardish. Then you realize, oh, wait a second, that guitar playing was there the whole time. We really didn't hear it because we weren't paying much attention to it, but it was part of the ensemble of arrangement and composition that makes the final song. And I think the reason why I'm even doing what I'm doing on this page, being the Decomposer, is not only to celebrate a really good song, even though not all the songs are are epic or anything like that, but to celebrate the people or the musicians and the composers and the arrangers and the producers and the engineering decision on a level where, at least with whatever I think I'm bringing to this channel, brings a little more awareness to how much work goes in to a song that you love. So anyhow, I ramble on because I do that on my channel. Anyhow, thanks for hanging out. I actually am going to do one more a little later today, but it's going to be a cycle back. Thank you once again for your support, your comments, your suggestions. Cup of coffee if you so see fit. AKG 240 headsets, the links for their music, links for the coffee, links for the headset is going to be down in the description. So thanks for hanging out. I'll be back in a little bit. All right.